switch gears to Castle. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a huge Castle fan. I was so excited to see Beckett say yes to Castle's proposal. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the premiere, but you should have by now, so no apologies. Talk about, were you happy that she said yes at the beginning of the season? What were your thoughts on that whole scene? Because I loved it.
I thought it was sweet. I thought the surprise for the Beckett character was so sweet because I don't think she expected that that's what was happening. And, it's just one of those kind of sweet moments that is paralleled in a lot of lives, especially I think the people that are following the show. They relate to the delight in being in a relationship like that. And so, yeah, I was looking forward to it. I thought it was, time that the two of them figured out kind of what direction they were going in. And it was sweet. It was nice to play.
And we do know that, even though she accepted the proposal, she went off and is working in the FBI right now, living in D.C., away from Castle. I kind of love the way that they found a way to make this work, not only on screen, but the writers as well, kind of writing this great obstacle for them after this great moment of joy. Can you talk a little bit about playing that?
That was going to be a debate and a consideration that our executive producer, Andrew Marlowe, kind of introduced last season. And the story goes that as she and Castle are possibly creating a greater commitment, she's been offered this really wonderful job opportunity in Washington, D.C., working for the Attorney General's office. And it's a dream job for her. But it would take her away from New York City, which, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that far from New York City, especially when your boyfriend at the time is a multi-millionaire. But it did kind of, it created a bit of an obstacle for the two of them to work through in their relationship. And I thought it was really true to form. I think a lot of girls today are working out balancing, and men as well. I mean, balancing a love story or a relationship or even a home life with a career, and just maintaining the two and making sure that they're both satisfying is an interesting juggle. Now, I see it all the time, at least in our industry. We have wonderful, for instance, actresses who are able to create a fantastic home life and also produce riveting performances like Meryl Streep and Cate Blanchett and Kate Winslet, and the list goes on. They have family lives, they have children, and they're still delivering wonderful performances. So I kind of thought that this was just a real thing that people deal with today, and it made sense, that Kate might be dealing with the same thing.
Yeah, and I love that Castle's been supportive of that, I don't think anybody expected him to be a jerk and be like, don't go.
Yeah, no, I think he definitely delivered on his end. He was supportive, and it was sweet because if they couldn't get past that, then the relationship didn't really have a long life,
Totally.
And he came at it, I thought, and it was written in a wonderful way. The writers created a space in which he was very, he was, as you said, he was very supportive of his girlfriend and fiance going off and fulfilling some dreams. And I think that's wonderful.
You all are listening to Entertainment Weekly's Editor's Hour. We're here with Stana Katic and getting some Castle scoop. I want to know what's going on in tonight's episode. We know that you're still in D.C. Lisa Edelstein's been great on this.
Yeah.
She has been fantastic. I would watch a spinoff of both of you. While you, of course, you also have to continue on Castle. Sorry, I'm putting you in double duty in my mind. But talk about what goes on in tonight's episode. I know it's the third one, I think.
Yeah, it is. Lisa was a lot of fun to work opposite. She's an interesting actress. She brings a lot to the table and always is working to kind of enrich any scenario and the relationships that we're portraying on camera. I had a great time working opposite, and I'm glad that somewhat communicates on screen. Basically, in tonight's episode, traditionally what we've seen on the story is that, every once in a while the FBI or the CIA come in and they sweep through a case and they take over, and it irks all of the team in NYPD. And this time we've got our guys in the New York Police Department, Esposito and Ryan, played by John Huertas and Seamus Dever, working a case. And suddenly Beckett's on the other side of that line, and she's a part of the Attorney General's office that comes in and takes over a case. And she has to kind of navigate that, because it's almost like going back to your, old high school. And having been in university for a few years, you're just kind of like, okay, how do we do this? And so I think that there's a bit of working through that. And, the girls are playing one end of the case and the boys are playing another end of the case, and they all need each other in order to solve it in the end of the day.
I'm looking forward to not only like the rest of the season, but especially seeing sort of how Beckett and Alexis get on. Engagement. Can you tease a little bit about what we're going to see from those two? I understand there's like a big Alexis episode coming up where we kind of address this.
Yeah, I think Alexis is working through how she feels about, her father entering into a new relationship. And she works through it really beautifully opposite Castle. And, it's a sweet relationship the two of them have, because obviously he cares for his daughter. And I think that the way the writers handle it, I feel kind of tentative because I'm not really meant to spoiler too much about it, but the way the writers handle it, it brings it to a really nice kind of close. Do
you think Beckett's going to be a good stepmom?
I don't know if she's a stepmom because, I think she's going to be a good friend. I think that stepmom always has this suggestion that she's maybe even more in charge of a situation than she is, but I think she'll be a great friend. And I think that that's sweet. It's nice to have your lover be kind and loving and giving to your children. So I think that that's important. And what I've experienced with the character is that she's respectful of that relationship that Castle has with his daughter. Nobody can replace that relationship, and that's sensitive. You have to be aware of it, and you have to kind of be kind to that relationship, because it's those kinds of changes can affect kids, and I think that the way the writers have been handling that is very sweet and very real.
Totally. Do you think we're going to see an actual wedding this season?
I don't know, actually. I really don't. I think there's so much stuff that happens in putting a wedding together that we've got a lot of fodder to build into a wedding, but I don't know if that's going to happen this season. Nobody's told me any different.
Do you want to? Are you ready to wear like this big white dress and have the like whole debacle?
Oh, you think she's wearing white, huh?
I really want to see what Beckett's version of a bachelorette party looks like.
All right, yeah.
I think that would just be a crazy good time, because she's not like the let loose type. So I imagine that when she has like a bachelorette party, she's kind of hesitant, and then all of a sudden it's like she is this wild child, and she's hinted at it before, but we just never really see the cracks in it. I am looking forward to that. Awesome. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add about what we could expect from the next few episodes of Castle, or just the relationship in general? Because obviously fans are like always clamoring for more information on these two.
I think that they overcame a huge obstacle in navigating what was going to happen with Washington, and the way that Castle handled it was just beautiful, and it was supportive, and it was exactly what two lovers should have, hopefully, is a space with each other where they can continue to grow and challenge each other and support each other. And so I think that as we move on in the rest of the season, we'll be dealing with all the complications of how do these two kind of start cohabitating and mingling their worlds in a way that they hadn't in the past, and also prepping for, this wonderful wedding, I guess, that's happening soon, or whenever it happens.
Very cool. Well, Stana Katic, thank you so much for stopping by Entertainment Weekly Radio. And everyone, stick around for more right here on Sirius XM 105.
Cheers, Sandra. Thank you.
Baby.